Shapes are said to be congruent if they have the same shape, angles, and sides. All the sides are the same on both shapes. So that's what we mean by congruent. So that's another way of saying identical. The one type of question you might find is one where you've just got to pick pairs of shapes which are congruent. Usually they make it a little bit more tricky by putting some in there that could be but aren't quite, and of course they twist things around so that it's not quite so obvious. I'm going to go on now though to talk about a specific type of question which is to do with congruent triangles. So there are several different rules for spotting if you have congruent triangles or not, and I'm going to go through each one with a different diagram for you. So the first way that you can spot that you have congruent triangles is if the three sides on the both triangles are the same lengths. So we abbreviate this, and this is how you can write it in the exams as well, as SSS. So that means that the lengths of each corresponding side on the triangle is the same length. That's proof that you've got congruent triangles. Another way that you can prove that you've got congruent triangles is if you know one of the angles is the same in both triangles, and you know that the sides on the triangle that are either side of that angle are also the same length in both triangles. So we abbreviate this as SAS to help us remember that that angle needs to be in between the two sides to give that as a proof that triangles are congruent. So here's another example. So there's another way that we can show that something's congruent. This time we're going to show that it's congruent by knowing that two of the angles are identical in the triangle, which obviously means all three are, because you could find the third one if you know two, but also that you know a side. So we want angle, angle, and a side that follows that. So it does matter which side it is. It needs to be the angle next to another angle next to the side in that way. Another way to prove that we've got congruent triangles is to have two angles that are the same in both triangles, and to know that the side that's in between those two is identical as well. So unsurprisingly, we're writing the abbreviation for that like so. So angle, side, angle. Another way that you can prove that two triangles are congruent are if they are both right angle triangles, and you know the hypotenuses are the same length, and one other side, it doesn't really matter which other side it is that you know. And so this is abbreviated as RHS, R for right angle, H for hypotenuse, and S for side.